All right, I think some folks are still logging in, but why don't we get started? It's just after 5:30. Thanks for joining us again for our monthly coffee talk with Principal Uemae. Again, if you don't know me, I'm Nuuanu Wright Van Alst, the president for your PTO organization, Aikane o Nuuanu. Many of you are repeat visitors, so you know the housekeeping rules, but in case you're new tonight, a few things again, everyone is muted and your videos are turned off in order to provide for the best experience that is allowable. If you've got questions throughout this event, use that Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, type in the questions. I will be monitoring it throughout tonight's event and we'll aim to get to all the questions before our event ends at 6:30. Before we begin, though, I have to send a big mahalo to all of the families on this call and all of the families, the staff, the community members for Nuuanu Elementary for your huge, overwhelming support of our recent Just Dance fundraiser. It blew us away. Our goal at the start of this was to raise $15,000. It was our very first time trying to run a virtual Just Dance type of program. We had no clue what it was going to produce, but wow, we surpassed that within the first week. Then we set ourselves a new goal, said, let's hit 30,000. Then we surpassed that again. We almost made it to $40,000. That is a huge amount of money that we can use and do good for our school. Contextually, it costs about $7,000 to $8,000 to air condition one building. So just imagine how many ACs we could air condition if that's going to be the main priority. We're definitely going to work to air condition at least one building. We definitely want to put some of that money to technical upgrades. As we all saw this past year, technology is huge and something that we need to continue to invest in. If everything goes well, hopefully we won't all be, schooling from home next year, but just in case, it's always so good to have technology upgrades. We see how quickly that changes. So that was huge. The other part that blew us out of the water was the amount of movement everyone got in. Part of the reason we picked a Just Dance fundraiser and we were debating that or a fun run, but the idea was we wanted to get kids active. We wanted to get us all out. We're sitting on our desks all day long, our kids at home, you're sitting in front of a screen. We all need a mental break away from the screen. We all need to get up out of our chairs. And at the end of the day, not even all the students submitted how much minutes they did, but those who submitted, we got almost 20,000 minutes of movement in. And if you just imagine all the kids who didn't submit, I'm thinking it is probably closer to 40,000. So again, I just really, I had to throw out all those stats out there because it's just so amazing, the overwhelming support we had from the school community. And truly, thank you for everything, for all of your support. Prize announcements just went out this week. Congratulations to our amazing prize winners. We are finalizing what we're going to spend that money on. And the minute we know what it's going to be spent on, we'll be sure to let you guys know, because that is part of our job as your PTO to make sure that your money is going to investments to improve our school. One more announcement, and if I haven't said this already and you didn't see that in our official email, we are using this to serve as our official GMM meeting for the quarter as well. So I do have a few other announcements. We are coming up to the end of the board year and the school year, which means the end of the board year. So those of us who are serving on the executive board and who are committee chairs this year doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be on the board next year. And so we will be sending out an email very soon, within the next week or two at the very most, looking for a call. If anyone has any interest in serving on the board for Aikane o Nuuanu or as a committee chair, please nominate yourself. If you think someone would be fabulous, you can nominate them and we'll reach out to them to see if they have any interest. If you're not interested in serving in an official board capacity or a committee chair capacity, but you just want to be involved, contact me. We need help all the time and love parent support. So you can definitely outreach to me directly at pres@nuuanuschool.org, and we'll definitely get back to you. So please, we hope to have some folks who are interested in joining the board next year in some form or in some kind of capacity. So without further ado, again, thank you. Obviously, I'm very enthusiastic about just how well that fundraiser went, and that wouldn't have been successful without all of the support of everyone on this call. So tell all your other family and friends and everyone you reached out to, just a big mahalo. But we are here. You don't want to hear me talk, I know. We are here to talk story with our principal tonight and hear what is the latest and greatest happening at our beloved school, Nuuanu Elementary. Some big things just happened this week. Almost all of the grades just returned back to full-time on-campus learning. Just how is that going?
So it's been like the same since I guess the third quarter started, but just there's more people on campus now. So, kids are out there, they're having fun at recess, and the classrooms are a lot more crowded than usual. But again, we have our mitigation strategies in place, the hand washing. We have the 6 feet outside of our classroom, but it is a little bit difficult in the morning because when the kids all come in the morning, they're congregated around the caf and in the gym, but there's a lot more, it's twice as many students there. So we have a new yard duty schedule so we can separate the kids a little more, having more supervision out there so that everybody is safe. And we remind our students to wear their masks constantly. If they're eating, they have to sit down 6 feet apart from each other so that when they take off their masks, they're eating. But it's been going well. I mean, the first day, the traffic was a little bad when, getting dropped off and picked up. But I think once we get the flow of things, I think things started to get much smoother as the week went on. So it's been going okay. Yeah.
Thanks. Well, you mentioned parking, and that's actually some of the questions that we have is just around, first week back there, we're definitely, families are noticing some traffic jam, some congestion happening, at drop off and at pickup. Mm-hmm. And some longer kind of wait times as maybe families are sitting in their car waiting for their children to get out of class that afternoon. What can be done to improve the congestion that's happening?
Well, I know if I counted correctly, I could have counted wrong, but I think there are 28 visitor parking stalls in the front of our school, and we have 355 students. I mean, if you do the math, there's no way we're not going to be sharing stalls and all that, right? So we try to do our best to stagger the drop-off and pickup times, and it's been the same since the start of the school year, having the drop-off and pickup staggered times. For the parking situation, because we only have 28 stalls, I guess my suggestion, one would be if you're a little early, I have like 15 minutes to kill because I came a little early. Maybe we can stop at the park at the corner before coming to school. You could maybe park over there for a bit and then drive up afterwards. But the roundabout area, what would really benefit us, really help us out for the drop off and the pickups would be if, let me start off with the drop offs first. If, the students can sit on the passenger side when they exit the vehicle, as opposed to us having to walk around the vehicle to grab the student and have to escort them out onto the campus. If they could sit on the driver's passenger side and exit through there. But on the pickup side, same thing. Making sure that you have your name plate, I guess, on your dashboard, so that when we see you coming up, it's easy for us to identify and we can call the student out to, hey, your parent is here, please come down. Also, having them go in through the passenger side as opposed to going around to the driver's side, that also cut back on some time, and even for safety wise too, it'd probably be better that way. But one of the things I did notice, and I understand every family has their own rules and guidelines about the vehicle is not going to move until everybody buckles up, and I get that. So we have some families where the kids enter the passenger side, but the vehicle doesn't move until the child buckles up. And sometimes the child has a difficult time buckling themselves, so the parent has to buckle. But in the meantime, the other 50 parents who are waiting around the circle is like, hey, how come the vehicle is not moving, right? So my thing would be, if you have to do that, you have that family rule, one would be to park in the parking lot and then walk up, or maybe if you can pull to the side, maybe drive, maybe 50 feet up or something like that, so you're out of the traffic, so all the other cars can go and go through the circle smoothly. That would really help us out, and the traffic would move much faster. But in all honesty, from 2:15 to 2:45, in half an hour, the kids are gone. Maybe we have 1 or 2 children left. So I'm impressed by that. I mean, the parents are doing a wonderful job at picking up their kids on time. That's amazing to me, because I've been at schools where I've had to walk kids home at 4 o'clock because parents didn't pick up their kids, But at Nuuanu, it's super amazing. Like by 2:45, if you can just be patient for that, not even half an hour, because some of people get, excused from class at 2:30, right? So within 15 minutes, they're picked up right on schedule. So I want to thank the parents for their help in helping out with that. But the things about putting your nameplate on, having, your child enter to the passenger side, if you have to buckle up your child, if you can pull to the side so other vehicles can go through, that would help us out tremendously. Yeah.
Great. Is there something in the afternoon as well? Some families, again, might be waiting the roundabout and their grade level hasn't quite come down yet. And so there could be parents still trying to come up for the grade level that has been released already. Is there anything that can be done to remind those families to go patiently wait in the parking lot or at the park until it's their turn?
Yeah, just look at the designated times. I believe for first grade and third grade gets excused at 2:15. And at 2:25, it's kindergarten and fourth grade. And 2:35 is second grade and fifth grade. I know it's so hard to predict the traffic. It's unpredictable, right? You could be stuck in traffic, I understand. But when you making your way up to campus, I mean, just be patient. You'll get your child. Honestly, you'll get your child. It's just sometimes, because they may come down a little bit later than usual or whatever the case may be. We'll do our best. We have adults out there to help get your child into the car, but just a little bit of a little bit of patience, and you'll get it. You'll get your child.
Thank you. On the parking as well, I know some family members, and we have to admit, probably the community got used to the school not being on campus every single day.
Right.
And right outside of the school on the street there are the signs that say during school days, between these hours in the morning, these hours in the afternoon, no parking. And there's definitely been cars parking on the street. Is there anything that the school can do to maybe outreach to the community or anything to help alleviate what's going on?
So I did get some complaints from parents the last 2 days, and my goal was to make it down there to some of the, I don't know whose cars they are. I don't know. I know what the parents are talking about. I was going to put a short note on their windshield to let them know, hey, don't forget the sign says, no parking between 2 and 3. But we're busy throughout the day. I'm busy, and I didn't get a chance to do it. But I guess some parents took the initiative to call the police. So when I was leaving school today, I saw a couple of cars getting tagged with tickets. So maybe that might be a reminder. Unfortunately, I didn't want that reminder to be a ticket. I would rather be the community as the school go down there. But again, that's not even in our jurisdiction, right? Because we're in the school. So that would be police to do it. But I think, I saw a ticket on one vehicle when I was leaving this afternoon. So I don't know. I guess they know the sign is there. It says no parking in the morning and afternoon. So I guess that would be the reminder right there.
Yeah, that is a bummer that was the way they got reminded. Hopefully, if anyone knows families who live along that street, please spread the word, because, of course, we don't want more folks to get ticketed. But yeah, definitely can understand the frustration of families as that adds to any of the congestion during pickup.
But it's like 30 minutes or maybe even 20 minutes. It goes. Honestly, you just got to be patient. I know it's not the same as when it was like a quarter ago, because when we had half the kids. But if you can't just be a little patient, it'll flow. It'll flow.
Yeah, that's an absolutely good point. We're all used to now the half amount of school, but we have to remember we've been doing that, and that's probably how it's been for the past several years. It's just where we've all become accustomed to a new way.
Right.
Well, moving away from parking a little bit and going back to almost all the grades are back in school, but third grade and fifth grade are still in the cohort schedule. Can you help explain why those two grades are not back full-time in person?
So everything comes down to numbers. Honestly, it comes down to numbers. And I'll share some numbers out there. If you want to grab a pencil and paper, you can write it down so you have a better understanding. I'll try my best to make it clear as possible. So this year we have 355 students at Nuuanu School. And of the 355, I would say about maybe 46 students are on distance learning. So what that means is that the other 300 plus students are face-to-face in school. We have 17 full classrooms at Nuuanu School, 17, okay? Now, depending on what students are in distance learning, it could be all in first, all of second. That'll make the face-to-face classes a lot bigger. And I know some parents said, yeah, but look at this school. They are all coming back. And what about this school? Well, we have 17 classrooms. Some of our neighboring schools, I can give you the data, it's online, you can look for yourself. Some of them have 40 classrooms. Some of them have 35 classrooms. Again, we only have 17. The other thing is other schools have like 150 to 200 students who are doing distance learning. So you can imagine when I talk to some principals, they say, oh yeah, we have 8 kids in a class. We have 10 kids in a class. Well, that's because majority of their students are doing distance learning. But at Nuuanu School, the parents feel it's more important for their children to be face-to-face than it is to do distance learning. And so when you look at those numbers, and you have 8 to 10 kids in a classroom for certain schools, it is much easier to bring everybody back, right? But our third and fifth grade classes have the largest amount of students. They have 25 to 26 students in a classroom, right? The other classrooms have about maybe 15 to 20 students in a class. So that's the hardest thing. If more students in third and fifth grade were doing distance learning, I'm sure it would be much easier for us to make that decision, say, hey, yeah, we can have all the kids back. But for me, I'm always looking at the safety side. And I don't want to compromise anybody's safety, especially your children, because it would be on me if something should happen. I don't think I would be able to sleep at night. And also, I also want to make sure that I take care of my teachers as well, or our teachers, right? If they don't feel comfortable, in a situation, we're putting them in harm's way. I don't want them to come to work every day feeling like, oh man, they're on edge, right? So I want to make it comfortable for your children and also my staff. We're going to do the best we can. The DOE is moving into a direction where all students will be coming back next school year. This is kind of like the trial period, I think. That's why we're doing this. So we got to come up with plans on our end to make sure that, next year, if all students come back, we'll be ready for that. So that's the reasoning behind third and fifth. It's not arbitrarily, we just randomly pick grade levels. It was the class sizes. It was what we could accommodate in the cafeteria. It was just recess, supervision, all these things that we had to take into account. And I apologize to those parents in third and fifth grade. I know, we want our kids back and we're going to try our best to do what we can. But right now, it just doesn't seem like the numbers work out for us.
Thanks for that explanation. And sorry for, I need a reminder. Did we end up moving to the 3 feet distancing in the classroom as well?
Yes, we did move to the 3 feet distancing in the classroom, but when you have 26 kids in a class, man, it's still tight. It's really tight in the classroom, right? You have tables and kids and other adults in the room as well. So yeah, but out in the physical area, common areas, it is 6 feet. And also in the cafeteria, we have no closer than 6 feet because the kids' masks come off. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks. Well, you've kind of previewed a little bit. I want to jump a little ahead to, previewing what may happen next year. You said the DOE is aiming to get everyone back in school. Obviously, if everyone is back in school next year, our distance learners, the 46 or so, are now also back in campus. What is Nuuanu trying to do to accommodate that, I guess, next year to make sure all our kids can come back?
So I just recently got in touch with Home Depot, and I don't know if I should say this online because I don't want other schools to do this too. But I reached out to Home Depot to see if they would be willing to donate some picnic tables for us. I kind of wanted to create an outdoor learning center where the kids don't have to be in the classroom to learn; they could be out and about, right? But I also know that the weather at Nuuanu is always raining and stuff like that, right? So I reached out to Home Depot. The lady is helping me with the grant. Maybe we can get picnic tables and umbrellas so that maybe we can have outdoor learning centers where they don't have to be in the classroom the whole time, and we can have kids outside on the balcony or on the walkway area, right? So they can do their learning there, so they don't have to be all in the classroom at the same time. I'm also trying to partner with Honolulu Community College to see if we can try to do some kind of partnership with them, if they can build us things, some kind of shelters and stuff like that for students who need to they're going into the trade school or carpentry and stuff like that, and they need the actual experience of building something. So I don't even know if the DOE would allow that, but I reached out to the instructors at HCC. I'm just waiting for a call back. But those are things I'm trying to do so that we can have different learning sites for the kids, different opportunities, not just in the classroom, but outside as well. But I gotta clarify the numbers too, is just so that you're aware that in the lower grades, we have 3 lower grade teachers, 20 in each class, approximately 20. But when they get to upper grades, so 3, 4, and 5, third, fourth, and fifth grade, we have 2 teachers, right? So you take the 20 kids in each of the lower grade classes, which is 20 each, total of 60 students. Divided amongst the three is 20. But when you move into upper grade, they only have two teachers. So you take the 60 divided by two, that's 30 kids. That's why upper grades is a little bit more difficult when it comes to coming back to school, as opposed to the lower grades. Hopefully you guys got your calculators out and you guys were able to put that in. If not, you can call me. I'll try my best to explain it to you again.
I was attempting to write numbers and then I remember I'm in communications for a reason. So I stopped personally. But, you know, I will throw out this plug maybe to any families who are out there. I mean, it sounds like you're being very innovative right now, trying to reach out to businesses out there, see what we can do. You know, clearly building a new classroom on campus is not something that can be done over summer, but your innovative ideas to add additional spots, if maybe even family members might know, or, you know, where folks who might want to donate picnic tables, like legit picnic tables, is that something that the school could be interested in, maybe working through Aikane to support in a way?
No, that would be awesome. I mean, to be honest, I wrote to the legislature asking for a 6-classroom building, because I don't want a portable, I want a building at our school, like at least 6 classrooms. But it'll probably come about when I retire in about 20 years, but at least shoot, we started something, right? So
started the process.
Hopefully we'll get it. Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I'm going to put that plug out to the families who are all online right now. If you've got connections to picnic tables, overhead hangs, anything that we could create outdoor learning areas, you know, I'm sure, contact me directly. We can work together and see how we can partner with Aikane and families to see what we can do to support our school, because that's something on all of our minds about getting our kids back to campus as things hopefully numbers continue to come down and things get, you know, safer for next year. I'm going to switch backwards a little bit about just back on campus right now at this very moment. You know, I know for safety reasons for a while, parents weren't allowed on campus, right? We were just doing the drop-offs, walking them up, you know, to the point where the thermometer and leaving. Now that more kids are back on campus, are parents allowed back on campus to, you know, do volunteer and support the teachers or support the school, such as kindergarten? I know they would often rely on parent volunteers. Is that being allowed at this moment?
You know, as of right now, it's only for essential workers and those who have priority to be on our campus. I'm not saying parents are not essential, because you guys are critical to, you know, to moving our school forward and helping your children get educated. But as of right now, I'm going to just say we're not going to have visitors, because the DOE hasn't allowed it yet, you know, visitors on campus and so forth. But I know the teachers would definitely appreciate your support. I mean, I've only been here for, I'd say, 10 weeks now, but, you know, I know the teachers have mentioned, yeah, we used to have parents supporting the classrooms, helping us out and doing this and doing that. So I know they miss you guys. But right now, for the safety of our students and even for our staff, we're just going to keep visitors off campus, so parents can drop their students off or their children off, or they can walk them up to the circle area, and then we'll take the child's temperature and then they can go to class after. So as of right now, no visitors right now, and parents.
Okay, so then that's obviously inclusive of school communities, outside community groups that were allowed before. Yeah. Okay. Another question. Now, a lot of kids are back. The cafeteria is more packed, probably, right? Everyone's, you know, it's just, and people are excited. This is the kids' first week back. You know, I know some of them are probably a little loud and rowdy at lunchtime in the cafeteria. Can you, and sometimes they might be reprimanded, right, for being a little loud or being too loud in there. Can you help share some of what the lunchtime rules are?
Okay. So when it comes to lunchtime, it's kind of, well, now it is kind of a little bit on the scarier side, because for me, I shouldn't say scary. There's probably a better word than that. But because when the students are eating, they are 6 feet apart and they have to take off their mask, right? And that's one of the biggest barriers to prevent any kind of transfer and the virus or anything like that, or sicknesses and stuff. So we did get funding from the district office, and they provided us with about 85 plexiglass that we can use for our cafeteria. So we have that up. But the thing is, the masks still come off with our students. So we're very, I guess, cautious to make sure the kids eat quickly and they put their masks back on. I know it does get loud in the cafeteria sometimes, and our adult supervisors do have to kind of yell to get everybody's attention, because talking like this is not going to get it when you have like 100 kids in the cafeteria talking. But in all honesty, I know we can do a better job of being kind and respectful when we do reprimand people or when we have to raise our voices, do it in a kind way. So those are things that I've had to remind some of our staff, and I can do a better job at that as well. We all should do things respectfully and with kindness. So, that's something I will remind our staff people in the CAP.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We're coming up on the end of the year. This is our second to last Berry Coffee Talk. I know I ask this at every session, but I'm going to ask one more time. Has there been any updates on fifth grade graduation or anything to really support those fifth graders before they graduate?
So we are planning to do a drive-through fifth grade graduation. That's the plan that we have in place. Right now, we didn't have any discussions about doing a face-to-face or anything like that. I know there's parameters involved when you have face-to-face and you have people on our campus and so forth. But right now, in talking with our fifth grade teachers, the plan is to have a drive-through graduation. I think it was on the last day of school. But I know some parents did reach out to the teachers. So you can reach out to see how you can support them. Some fifth grade parents have reached out to our fifth grade teachers to ask how they can help. But from my last conversation, we're going to be doing a drive-through graduation for fifth graders.
Okay, thank you. And have you heard anything about, typically the fifth grade does like a legacy gift. Have you heard about any of those planning efforts? And if there are fifth grade families who are on this call right now, how maybe they can get in contact with someone to see what's going on or support?
That's really interesting because this past week I was walking around our campus and I saw all these legacy projects. Like, wow, this is kind of interesting. Then I walked by this one area and there are these, I guess, cement blocks are put in this one area by fourth grade. Then I didn't realize that was another legacy project. So, I didn't realize that the fifth grade parents do, or the class does some kind of legacy project every year. I didn't realize that. So that I'm not sure what's installed for that. I have to check with the fifth grade teachers, or I don't know if there's a parent that does it, or I'm not sure. Sorry, that I cannot answer what the project is about.
No problem. Fifth grade families, might be the best thing to reach out to your teacher reps. It is, I know traditionally, again, I don't have fifth graders, but what I've been told is traditionally kind of certain parents just tend to spearhead the effort every year. I'm not quite sure who the fifth grade spearheaders are this year, but I will also do some inquiries and inquiries. If you've got questions or you want to send me your contact info, you can again send it to me at present@nuuanuschool.org. I'll take that and try to find you a point of contact and connect y'all.
We could use a six classroom building. That would help, or a new covered basketball court. I don't know if that legacy project would be a little bit too big, but that's my thing I would throw out there. So
well, will the DOE allow us to do those kind of
I don't know. I'll make it happen. You just find a way to get the money there. I'll find a way to make it happen.
Well, it sounds like we're going to do several dance fit competitions next year, folks. So that we have a six classroom building built on our campus, maybe before some of us leave the school.
Yeah. Maybe some car washes too on top of that too. Maybe I'm not sure. So, yeah.
Oh, funny. So going back to the future for next year, you talked some of the goals to get all the families back. At this point, do you have any other predictions on what could happen next year? Will, events be allowed on campus again? Has a DOE given you any indication of what next year could look like?
I think it's going to be kids are going to be either coming back on campus or they're going to have to just do a distance learning program. I think that's what it may be. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but it kind of looks like we're going in that direction by having the students come back this school year. Having students on campus, I think that's probably going to happen. Having activities and events back on campus, it looks pretty promising. I was watching the news and I saw like even 16-year-olds and above may start getting the shots during the summer or pretty soon. I'm not even sure. But then there's all these variant viruses that are coming out too, right? So. But I would hope that, we can have activities back on campus because I'm an activities person. I love having activities, after school activities, and even during the school year, I love having activities for the students. But right now, safety comes first, right? So until the DOE lifts their restrictions on what we can and cannot do, then we're just going to follow that for now. Yeah, but I'm hoping that we can have our activities back at the start of the school year.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to keep watching out. I know the families over the summer and, who are returning next year are probably going to have questions on exactly how that's going to go. folks will definitely work with principal to make sure we're all collectively getting you out communications over the summer as well, what to expect as, of course, the DOE sets policies and you're able to share that information. It's great. Speaking of summer, how's summer school registration? Wednesday was the day. I was told there was a small little line in the morning. I'm not sure how that went.
So we took an initial survey, and I think about maybe 75 families have, said that they were interested in summer program. And so I think as of this afternoon when I left, I think we had like 90 something, like 95. So it's way more than what we had anticipated. So some of the class sizes are going to be a little bit bigger, or I'm not sure if we can fit everybody in there. But again, the initial survey that we took back in, I think it was March, it was about maybe 75 families that were interested. So it kind of got a little bit higher than what we expected, but we'll try to find a way to make it happen. But just having to find the teachers and so forth to teach more classes, I might have a hard time with that because our teachers worked hard this year. Honestly, they did. And if they need a break, I'm going to say, shoot, if you need a break, take a break because you guys deserve it. I mean, what we went through this past year and even the last semester, I don't think anybody signed up to do all that kind of stuff as a teacher, right? So bless their hearts, they come to work every day with smiles on their faces and they leave exhausted, but still they go home and, doing the work that they got to do for the next day. So I will try to recruit some teachers to see, but right now I think we're about maybe 20 over what we expected, but I'll try to see what we can do.
Well, hopefully it's evened out across all the grade levels so that maybe it can fit.
Yeah, I know, and it's not even across the grade level, but I have some information from the YMCA about the before and after program. They are going to provide it for our summer program, and I'll send out a school messenger either this evening or maybe tomorrow morning. I'll send something out with more information on that. And then we also have a food box drive again, and that's scheduled for April 24th, a Saturday, April 24th from 8 to 10 o'clock at our school. For those of you who have been participating in that, I will also have that in the school messenger, the food box pickup on April 24th from 8 to 10. So look out for that email that's going to either come out today, tonight, or maybe tomorrow morning when I get a chance to send it out.
Wonderful. Well, you mentioned our teachers, and I'm going to throw a little plug in. If you're a teacher on this call right now, maybe close your ears for this part of the message, but it is Teacher Appreciation Week coming up. It is May 3rd to the 7th. I'm looking to make sure I have my dates right. So that week is Teacher Appreciation Week. As principal shared, teachers worked hard. They went above and beyond. It was crazy. And I think we've all benefited and saw all the hard work that they put into it. And we really want to try to our best to make Teacher Appreciation Week special. The Aikane is trying to do a couple of, things to support our teachers. One of the things we would love to do is to put together a slideshow or a video or compile letters, just something directly from the kids. I know teachers tend to, what I've been told, I'm not a teacher, but what I'm told from teachers, they really do like those personal messages. So, hey, you've got a month right now, or almost a month. We'll be sending out a message as well. But if you can, work with your keiki to take a picture with a thank you sign, write a handwritten note, or something. If you can send that again to me, we are going to compile everything we got to do something nice for them. And of course, they would love, I'm sure, the personal outreach from your students directly as well. So don't forget, plug it in your calendar now. May 3rd to the 7th is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Yeah, that would be really cute. That would be really awesome. I'm sure they'd be so appreciative of having those signs and all that. Thank you. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Thanks. And for context, everyone, they were like, you don't have to buy us stuff. We just really, we love seeing the kids. And so, when people are like that, your heart just pours out and you want to just really support them even more. So let's band together and do something nice for our teachers for sure. Okay. Don't forget, folks, if you have additional questions, I am going through questions that were sent in advance of tonight's event. But if you have questions, please type it into that Q&A box. I am monitoring it and we'll definitely ask your questions. Okay, any other plans for any kind of end of year? Couple of weeks left, so we did a fabulous Spirit Week as well. That was great. Or is there any additional kind of plans for the school community between now and the end of the school year besides school?
Any kind of events? Well, we do have our monthly. We do it monthly. But the Chen family has been very generous with those food box donations every month. I don't know how much longer we can continue that, but they've been always reaching out to us so to help our families. But the big thing for us right now, I know it's not the best what everybody wants to hear, but it's that statewide assessment test for our third, fourth, and fifth graders. And so for me, that's something that we really want to focus on, because it does recognize our school, right? It goes in the newspaper, oh, this is how the kids did and so forth. So we always want to just encourage our kids to try their best. One of the things I want to share is make sure that they, our third, fourth, and fifth grade, but all students in general, have a good night's rest, have a healthy breakfast, right? And then they come to school on time. And speaking of on time, I think there was some clarity that I got to do with that, because some parents were asking me, hey, when did we change the time and start time and end time? So I just want to make it clear, because I think maybe there was some miscommunication. When I came on board, I thought this was how it was, and maybe it was a different way. But just so that everybody's here and they can listen. So first and third grade gets dropped off first. And class time is supposed to start at 8 o'clock for them, not walking to class at 8 o'clock, but being in class ready to go at 8 o'clock. That's our first and third grade. And then for kindergarten and fourth grade, they get dropped off second, and they start class at 8:10. So if you're in a kindergarten class or fourth grade class, it's not getting dropped off at 8:10, but we start class at 8:10. So if we can try to make sure they get to school before then. And then our second and fifth grade, they start class at 8:20. Okay, so just kind of gotta, I'd rather you be a little bit early than late. And I know traffic again is unpredictable. So if you have to kind of come a little bit earlier, that's fine. If you arrive too early, you could always pull in the parking lot or at the park and then come up afterwards. Yeah, but those are the times that just wanted to remind you. And again, I will put this in our email blast out either tonight or tomorrow. You'll get an email blast from that.
I know some teachers, or at least I've seen, have been walking up the classes in advance. Is that kind of typically 5 to 10 minutes before class time begins, or is there kind of a rule of thumb if they want to be able to walk together with their class?
So we start walking them 10 minutes before the actual class starts. So if you're in first grade or third grade and you start at 8 o'clock, about 7:50, we start walking up to the classrooms. And then if you're in kindergarten and fourth grade, your start time is at 8:10. Around 8 o'clock, they'll start walking students up to the classroom. So that way, it takes about three minutes to get to class. That's why, because it's so far away. Yeah. So, and then the last grades, second and fifth grade, although you start at 8:20, we start walking the students up at 8:10 to get to class. You don't have to walk with them to be tardy or anything like that, to be on time and not tardy. As long as you get to class by your designated time, you're not considered tardy. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Okay, I'm going to take some questions again, folks. You've got questions, throw it into the Q&A box. These were all the questions that were pre-sent. I'm done with those, so I'm going to take live questions now.
So easy questions, yes and no is best.
No. Do you know for yearbook, if fifth grade students are able to add a quote in the yearbook for their graduation photo?
It was supposed to be easy questions. I don't know if there was there a quote last year? I'm not even sure if there was a quote last year. Sorry, I'm not familiar with that, but I can ask if they could put a quote in there. I can check with Miss Burns. She's the one kind of like spearheading our yearbooks this year. So I can ask, but I'm not sure if it was there one last year? I don't know. Do you know by chance?
Yeah, the family member thinks that they usually would have that.
Oh, okay.
I'll check. Don't remember either. Yes, there was.
Okay. There was. Okay. I'll check with Miss Burns to see if we can still include that in there, because it's going to have to go to press pretty soon, because they have to print it out and we have to distribute it and all that within the next, I guess, 8 weeks or so. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how long it takes the company to put it together, but I know Miss Burns is working on it right now, so I can check with her.
Great. And there was a call for photos at one point. I know the deadline has passed, so the deadline is done because they're almost done compiling, right? So
right. So no, actually, the retake pictures were yesterday and Tuesday, but I think April 15th. Oh no, you know what? I think it was passed already. You're right. I think it was passed.
All right.
I have to look in my notes. Yeah. I think the parents could have submitted things online, right, for their children to I would have to look at my notes as to what the deadline is. So I don't know the notes off the top of my head.
That's okay. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure it passed, but just in case not. Yeah, you're right. It passed.
Okay.
Thank you for our wonderful family member who is keeping me honest right now. Okay. Families, do you have any more questions? We will only run this event as long as we have questions while he's looking up to confirm. And if not, I'm going to just do a couple of quick announcements. We do have our monthly Aikane o Nuuanu board meeting next week, Thursday. Anyone is invited to join us. That invitation for our Zoom meetings are also located on our website at at nuuanuschool.org. I apologize. So please feel free to check that out. We have one more of these talk stories before the end of the school year, scheduled for next month, always the second Thursday of the month from 5:30 to 6:30. So there's your chance to ask any end of year questions, heading into summer break kind of questions with principal. We will be here again one more time. We'll do a survey after the next one to see how you guys like this format so we can make good decisions for next school year. If you like this format, we can bring it back. And if you don't, we can reevaluate and see how things are doing.
Okay, so I think what I found was the ordering of the yearbooks online. You have until Thursday, April 15th. Okay, so if you wanted to order a yearbook, I think I sent it out in my previous school messengers that there was a link you can click on, and then you have to do it by April 15th. It's a Thursday, which would be next week, Thursday, to sign up for a yearbook. And I believe it costs $10 for a yearbook.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you for confirming that. So folks, if you haven't ordered your yearbook yet, you've still got time.
Then I just remembered one other thing too. Sorry, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer or a party pooper, but some parents had asked, "Hey Ned, is it okay if we bring like birthday gifts or treats or cake or cupcakes to school for the class?" And I don't want to be the negative Nancy guy, but unfortunately, we're not going to allow exchanging of like birthday gifts or cake and cupcakes at this time. So maybe next school year. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry.
Understand. I think that was one of the policies or recommendations set by CDC as well. So that makes sense. All right, well, I don't see any additional questions coming in. So again, we want to thank you always for joining us every single month, answering questions that our families have. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. We'll be back here in 1 month from now, second Thursday of May will be our final one to wrap up the school year. Again, don't forget to stay up to date with what's going on with Aikane o Nuuanu. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, check out our website, nuuanuschool.org. Check out the school's website. It's constantly being improved and there's always new updates there as well. So that's fabulous. Thank you for working on that, principal. And I know Ms. Scrimstad, right?
Yeah, she's terrific. She's doing her best to see, the hard thing with the website is you have to be ADA compliant. Hard to believe that, right? But fonts, size, color, you have to be in compliance with all that. So she's working her whole off trying to make sure that she gets the information up there, but yet it still meets the requirements for the for the ADA compliance thing. So yeah.
Understandable.
But before we leave, I just want to thank all the parents for their support. Honestly, like the things that are happening at home that you do with your children really helps the teachers out in the classroom. I know it's not easy. But we appreciate all the support that you guys have provided the teachers this school year. And it's stressful for you guys, it's stressful for our teachers, but I know, if we work together, we'll make it through the whole school year. We'll make it okay. Yeah. But thank you guys for your time.
I'm going to end with a couple of messages that you shared. Kindness and aloha. Let's all keep practicing that in our daily. And I know it's stressful in these times, but I think, your message of being kind and sharing aloha is definitely something we all need to constantly remember. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. If there's no other questions, we're good?
We're good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys
Bye,
for your time.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.